149.9. Right, so week 1 of the diet is almost over, so let's see. Do a quick. You know, I feel like my bloating's gone down. Been dropping a lot of water. And let's see the abs. Got a bit of top abs. Back muscles. Yeah, and today I'm going to show you guys a full day of me intermittent fasting. So let's get on with the day. The first thing I'm going to do, since I just woke up and did my weigh-in, I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to drink all of this and start getting some work done. First thing I am going to do is client work. So I do online coaching for those of you who do not know, and I'm creating a lean bulk plan for one of my clients. I do lean bulk plans, fat loss plans, and if you want to recomp, I can help you recomp whatever you need to reach your fitness goals. My coaching link is below at www.graceleafitness.com if you want to check it out. But yeah, we're going to get started with that. Alright, you guys, I'm starting to feel like I need that kick of caffeine. I only had a few hours of sleep, but I got my client work done. The best thing about intermittent fasting is focused work. You're more productive. And something that I like to do is I like to get the hardest things or the most important things out of the way first thing in the morning. So that's client work. And that's also editing YouTube videos. I do this in the morning when I'm the most on. So I like to do most of my hardest work early morning, early afternoon, because I am not an evening person. And in fact, that's when most people's willpower is gone, unless I guess you're a night person or a night owl. But typically night owls wake up a little later. They don't wake up early in the morning. 7:30 a.m. So I'm going to have this orange monster, and I recommend you have some type of caffeine source. So it could be just a black coffee, an Americano. Americanos, by the way, are just espresso and water. So I'm going to have this. I'm going to sip on it. I'm not going to chug it. So I'm going to sip on it to help delay my hunger and blunt my hunger. Now, if you can't have coffee or anything like that, you can have tea. And if you can't have caffeinated stuff, you can have decaffeinated. So, yeah, just sip on it. Don't chug it. Make it last. By the way, I wanted to say a good tip for being productive and rewarding yourself and having really focused work is, while you're doing the task at hand, don't be distracted. Don't be on your iPhone going on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You know who you are, Snapchat, whatever. Make sure you're just focused on the task at hand. So if your task is studying for a test, be sure you're just focused on studying. Then I set a timer for 45 minutes, and I'll reward myself every 45 minutes with a 15-minute break. During your 15-minute break, you can go on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever that relaxes you, and then do it again, study again. I'm the type of person that cannot just straight up work 4 hours straight without a break. I need breaks. So that's what I do, and that's a really good way to get things done, and I found that I get so much more done when I'm actually doing focused work. What's up, you guys? So it is almost 1 o'clock, or it's a little past 1 o'clock right now, and I want to go through how I structure my intermittent fasting, some examples of how you can use intermittent fasting. Now, before I start this, intermittent fasting is no secret. It's not a secret. Basically, intermittent fasting just because you do intermittent fasting doesn't mean you're going to get cut, doesn't mean you're going to have the body of your dreams. All it is a strategy to use with your diet and your plan. So I'm going to run through it. And the reason why I'm sitting on the floor is I haven't yet set up my whiteboard to be hung up yet. So we're just going to do this like this. So later I'm going to have to hang this up, but we're going to start with an example of someone who's at 1900 calories. That's about what I'm on right now, a little more than that. So I'm going to set this up right now. So I'm going to give an example of the first example of how you could do this. So I have 1900 calories. Typically my last meal's been late. So say my last meal was at 7 p.m. and I wake up at 4 a.m. So I'm sleeping. I ate, then I sleep, wake up, and then I fast. So right here, this is, you're still fasting during these times. So right here, you're fasting. When you're fasting, that means you're having little to no calories. There are some things about that people say if you have even a calorie or 5 calories, you're breaking your fast. But I think that if you're, eating more than like 70 calories, you're really breaking your fast. But yeah, technically it's eating nothing. Everything is 0 calorie. Just during this time when you wake up, all you're doing is drinking water and usually drinking some kind of 0 calorie drink or caffeinated drink. And the techniques with that during your fasted state is drinking slowly, sipping your caffeine, but usually right when you wake up, number 1 is getting a large glass or 2 of water in, then slowly drinking 0 calorie drinks or caffeinated beverages. Don't go too crazy on the caffeine. Don't be taking in like 500 to 600 milligrams of caffeine. But yeah. And then if you're still hungry after that, what you can do is have a carbonated beverage. Also 0 calories. So these are some techniques you can use to basically be able to fast easier. And then around this time, you're going to have your first meal. Now, the way you want to spread out your calories is up to you. So if you are super hungry in the morning, then you can have the largest amount of calories during your first meal. But typically, my first meal is between 300 to 400 calories. Sorry about the handwriting. Calories. This is because I like to use this as my pre-workout meal before the gym. So I don't want to eat too much, because if you eat too much and you're too full, it makes the workout very uncomfortable. Then from here, I basically work out, go to the gym probably around 2 to 3 p.m. And then I will have my next meal either between 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And typically this meal is around 500 to 600 calories. And at this point, so say I've had 600 calories and 300 calories during the first meal, then I have 1,000 calories left. So my last meal, I'll have 1,000 calories. And I like to do it this way because I hate going to bed hungry. That's like the worst thing when you're on a diet, is going to bed hungry. So this allows me to go to bed satisfied. So the benefit of this way is I am always full at night. And this is when I have the tendency to cheat on a diet, is if I am hungry. So the next example we're going to do is for the breakfast lover. Say you love breakfast, and from waking up at 5 a.m., you fast for about 2 hours from that time, but you've also been fasting at night. Then say you love to have a lot of calories first thing in the morning. then you can have a 800 to 900 calorie meal right here. So you're spending 8 to 900 calories right here. And then say you don't really like lunch that much, then you could put 300 calories right here. And then you could put 1,000 calories for dinner. Or wait, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then you could put 800 calories here for dinner. It is very flexible the way you want to do intermittent fasting, but I'm going to show you the typical way that most people talk about doing intermittent fasting. Alright, so we're finally on our last example. This is the most typical example that you hear on the internet a lot. This is the most popular. So, you went to bed at, say, 8 p.m., you woke up at 4 a.m., so you've been sleeping for 8 hours. So then, you're going to be fasting from 4 a.m. as well to 12 p.m. So, right here, you're fasting. And during this fasted state, you are using water, carbonated beverages, zero-calorie drinks, teas, caffeine to blunt your appetite. And you're staying productive and busy. Alright, so you get also a lot of your work done here. And then you're going to have a smaller meal here. This meal is typically lower in fat, high in protein, and moderate in carbs. But you want to knock out a good amount of your protein here. And this meal is going to be probably around 400 to 500 calories, for example. And it's all up to you guys how you want to use your calories. But this is off of my 1900 calorie allowance. I'm just showing you what you could do with intermittent fasting. So at dinner time here, you could eat out if you wanted to. You have 1400 calories to work with. This meal is high in carb. It's high in fat because you're using the rest of your fat allowance here. And then it has a good amount of protein because you need to hit the rest of your protein for the day. So this is a perfect size meal for eating out if you wanted to do that. But you still kind of have to be conscious of what you eat when you eat out for this meal. That is the run through of the different types of meals that you could do while intermittent fasting. And you could also use this while lean bulking. And I would recommend that option to those who have a huge appetite, love big meals, because a person who loves big meals, if they're constantly doing big meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner, they could go way over their lean bulking phase. Like, because typically in a lean bulk, you only want like 200 to 500 calories extra, and you want to gain about 0.25 to half a pound max a week on a lean bulk, so you don't gain too much fat. But this is just a good example of how you can use intermittent fasting while you're dieting. So now I'm going to list the advantages of intermittent fasting. Alright you guys, so now I'm going to talk about the advantages of intermittent fasting. And this is my opinion, and I prioritized it by what I like the most about it and to the least. But basically, it makes me feel like I'm not dieting. Why is that? It's because you're constantly, other than when you're fasting, and also when I'm fasting, I do use those strategies such as caffeine to blunt the appetites and so forth. So I'm not really hungry until right before I eat my first meal. So most of the time though, after that, I don't feel like I'm dieting. Why is that? Because I'm full. Larger meals. Typically and traditionally, it used to be that you'd have a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then 2 to 3 snacks in between. So then my 1900 calories, if I divide 1900 calories by 6 small meals, then let's see, and that's about 316 calories per meal. But now I can have larger meals. I can have meals that are from 1,000 calories to 700 calories, depending if I have a snack. So I'm full. Larger meals. If you like larger meals, this would be good for you to do. Okay, productivity is the second one. I'm more productive in the fasted state. And why is that? Because the caffeine. And did you guys ever notice that when you are super full, when you eat way too much, you just feel tired, groggy. You want to take a nap. This makes it so in the morning, I get my big things done first. More productivity, so better workflow. If you work in an office job or something like that, you want to do the most tasking things first. And that's what I did too when I worked a full-time job. When I was in the fastest state, I got the hardest things done first thing in the morning, get it knocked out. And also here, you're going to save time. Number 3, you don't have to worry about making lots of meals or taking lots of meals on the go. I used to have to pack lots of meals and make lots of meals because I thought that you're supposed to have food every 2 to 3 hours. So you save time and you probably save money because you're saving time. So intermittent fasting is really friendly with people who do business trips, travel a lot, for the fact that they really only have to be really strategic for their first meal, like have a oatmeal or something healthier and some protein, but then thereafter they can eat out on their business trips and so forth, so it makes it more balanced. Alright you guys, now I'm going to explain to you guys what it all comes down to. Whether you're using intermittent fasting or not, all comes down to first eating less than you burn to lose weight. Now, I'm not going to say fat weight because it also depends on these. So, there are a few ways you can use intermittent fasting other than the obvious stuff like fasting itself. You know, having a big lunch or a dinner or whatever, how you use your overall calories. Okay, so there are a few ways you can do this. The beginner may just count calories. The pros of counting calories is it's easy. You're only counting one thing. You can just put that in MyFitnessPal and not have to worry about anything but the overall calories. But the cons are, if you're eating low protein, which most Americans eat low protein, high fat, and high carb, your body composition is going to decline. Yes, you may be losing weight, but it may not be fat weight. You may also be losing muscle as well. So it's not good for body composition, but it's easy. Okay, so the next phase is counting calories and the amount of grams of protein you're taking in. So meeting your protein requirements, which ranges depending on where you are in your cut and so forth, but to put simply, you need between 0.82 to 1.2 grams max. And this varies person to person. I'm not going to get into that. It's going to get complicating. But, so basically, meeting your protein requirements per gram of lean body mass. But what this will do is it'll help your body composition and maintain your current muscle mass, and even may help to gain muscle mass if you are a newbie lifter. If you haven't ever counted any macros before and you're in a deficit, you're counting the amount of protein you need, this may happen. It's a good chance it will happen. But cons is of just counting the protein in grams and not the carbs and fats macros and just counting them as just overall calories. It'll allow you to potentially go on a high-fat, low-carb diet, which in the long run, if you're constantly going up in the fat, it's bad for cholesterol. No bueno. Your cholesterol is going to skyrocket. So that's not good either. Okay, going to the last one, macros. I'm talking about counting your carbs, proteins, and fats. Okay, so overall, it's great for your overall health. That's if you're not just doing if it fits your macros. If you're doing flexible dieting, which I believe is having between 80 to 90% clean and 20% for, you know, those so-called bad foods, junk foods. And now, depending on your cut, this may change, this percentage may go down to 5 to 10%, depending on how deep you are in your cut, how many carbs you have left. And also hitting your fiber intake. So we're taking health into consideration. You're still taking into consideration your fruits, your veg, and, you know, eating overall nutritious, wholesome meals. But the cons are, it may be difficult at first to learn this. There's a learning curve to it. So with people, there are either people who are quick learners. So for the quick learner, it's pretty simple and it's to the point. But I've met some people that this is very difficult because you do have to weigh everything on a scale. You do have to track it. You do have to kind of go through the types of foods that you will fit your macros or will not fit your macros, and kind of have to study it a little bit. But once this learning curve is over, it's easy. Like today, it's so easy, but when I was first learning, I was so excited about it that it actually made it easy to learn because I was so obsessed and excited about macros. But now it's just easy. Now I kind of know the general idea of what macros are and what foods. So I hope this was very helpful to you guys. If it was, please drop a like, comment down below what you'd like to see in future videos. I'm planning on using this whiteboard more, and I'm really enjoying it. I really like writing things down and explaining it like I'm teaching you guys in a classroom setting. And next time I'm going to have it on the wall, hopefully, by then. But yeah, if you like it, please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. I am uploading at least 3 to 5 videos a week. And I am doing a 90-day challenge. Basically, it's in my Change Your Life series where I'm cutting for the next 90 days. And talking about intermittent fasting, I've been fasting too long and I'm about to eat lunch. It's close to 2 p.m. Oh, it's 2:03 p.m. So I gotta eat lunch, and yeah. And I'm actually still sipping on that same Monster, and in between, I've been drinking water, so. Dang, doesn't that look like a really good breakfast? I got 150 grams of jasmine rice, 1 egg, I think 180 something grams of egg whites, then 2 bacon, and then I tried to take the oil out so it makes it a little bit less fat. I'm gonna use some sea salt to season my eggs, and then I'm gonna have some garlic powder on my rice. And then I'm going to have some black pepper. I like them on my egg. I like my egg whites pretty plain. And I don't like to cook them too much. So this is the first meal of the day. And I'm going to have it with a little bit of kimchi. Kimchi is very low calorie. And then I'm going to have some Tabasco sauce, 0 calories. And yeah, that's the first meal of the day. Now I'm actually really hungry. I think I opened the floodgates to my appetite. But I have 184 grams of Honeycrisp apples. I like to sprinkle cinnamon on it for a little bit of added flavor. But don't put too much, because then you do need a macro. Cinnamon adds up to carbs. So yeah, Honeycrisp apples. Alright you guys, it is almost 3 o'clock. I'm about to have me one of these. Got this from Costco. They came in a huge variety pack. Very good macros. 1 whole bag is 140 calories. 3.5 fat, 24 carb, 2 protein. So after everything I've ate so far, I still have a lot of macros to hit. I'm going to have a Greek yogurt after this too, strawberry one. And yeah, I still got a lot of macros. So far I've hit about around 700 something calories. And right now, it's the beginning of my cut, so right now I'm starting at around 1900, a little over 1900 calories, so yeah. And I'm tracking my macros, and yeah, I don't religiously do intermittent fasting every single day. Honestly, when I'm cutting, it depends on when I'm working out, because me working out triggers my appetite, so it just depends on when I do that, but enjoy one of this. Hey guys, it is past 8 p.m. This is my dinner. I got rice, egg whites, bacon, mixed veggies with pot roast, and corn. So it's a very big dinner, and I still actually have 8 pizza bagels, mini pizza bagels, after this. My pizza bagels I'm gonna have, and I think that's gonna finish off my macros. Good morning, you guys. It is Saturday, 6 January, as I say good morning to you guys. So this is the day today that you're going to be watching this video, and yeah, that's going to conclude that intermittent fasting day of eating, and I hope you liked my intermittent fasting tutorial / 101 video. If you did, yeah, please remember to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. I am doing a 90-day kind of documentation of my journey, and we still have till the end of April. We still have till the end of March, beginning of April time frame till the cut is over. So yeah, you're still in the beginning phases of my journey, so subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.